Still there. That's a big one. Yeah, probably 15 feet. This little one over here. I'm just going to go through these fairly quickly because this is what, maybe at least the third time I've been to this place over the years, and I'm hiking up to an area that's much further up the mountain where it's more, in some ways, more squatchy than down here. I think they may, obviously visit here, although I think that humans also contribute to the structures in this area. But where I'm going, I think, is more where they probably hang out and live, at least some of the time, part of the year, what have you. I usually come in another way, but I took that side little trail to those other structures we just saw. And let's see the best way to navigate this. Let's go around here. Trying to find a way where I can navigate and kind of keep the camera level. Okay. This is the one that looks the most human and would pretty much have to be. This is new over here. I'm guessing it's humans. An odd one. But anything that's too heavy duty, you know, you start to wonder. This, I think has been, I think this is new pretty much. This down tree, I think, is new. Don't imagine humans did that. I think it's natural. Who knows? This addition is different. It used to have a huge, big one like along here, but I guess it's been taken down, reconstituted elsewhere. Let's see if the big one over here is still up. The one over here is maybe the most impressive, I think. Yeah, it is still here. The one in the entrance, the way I came in this time, is also impressive. But this has some really heavy-duty stuff thrown in. And, it's tough to tell if someone was able to scoot it enough. You can see where something broke off of there, and I think it's down here. I don't know, with enough strength, maybe someone could have got it there. Maybe it rolled, but I don't know. It's still highly suspect to me that Sasquatch could have devoted something to the construction. I'll go and take a photo here, cut the camera. Anyway, I took a photo, and I'll just head on my way. So you have stuff like this. I mean, all this is just slung up in this Y in the tree, and it just all comes down here. Yeah, this busted down tree, look how it's broken on the end. It's not sawed. And that stuff just always accompanies, not always, but any place that seems to be more prone for Sasquatch seems to accompany such structures that you have all this stuff mixed together that, you know, just weird. This is new. It's like it's a attempt at a swing. Then you have all this extra stuff over here. Oh, this is kind of a new arrangement. As I guess this is the reconstitution of the one that I mentioned that has been over here. It's kind of almost a dome. Well, not a dome, but it's big and kind of circular. And then we have this kind of crude thing over here now. I was looking at more of this. But anyway, it's a big question mark. I'm certain, you know, some of it is humans, but I still wonder if there's more than that alone going on, because there have been sightings, you know, in the area. And it's funny how, even though nobody, I guess, has seen a Sasquatch build a structure, some places they appear at night, and yeah, like I said, they accompany these areas where there are sightings. So, okay, I'll try not to repeat myself so much. I'll go and cut this before I start uncontrollably rambling. So that's this area. Back up trail 007 today. Out and back to the top of the mountain will be over 10 miles. But I don't have time to do that today. Although I contemplated it, but as usual, just get too late of a start. Now I am hiking, I'm going to try to do it fairly quickly. See if I can get to the Squatchy spot that's probably 2/3 the way up the mountain. But we'll see, I'll probably be hiking out quite a ways in the dark because of it. Nice greenery along the trail. Well, we have a fresh rake, fresh tree on the trail. Obviously, I don't know if it's Sasquatch, but it is doing a good job of blocking the trail. And looks pretty green. Well, evergreens will last a while. A big tree like that. More stuff blocking the trail. Looks like they cleared it out. It's not as fresh. Yeah, again. So here's a rare flat spot. Once you get up on this trail, there are not many spots that are flat. It actually looks like someone camped here. There's some leans over there. Oh, it's a little bit squashy. Anyway, get back on the trail. trying not to stop every 5 seconds and show you the scenery, but there's a little view. It's mainly been thick in the trees up to this point. This is a very green hike in particular this time of year. Lots of undergrowth. Just, for instance, plucked a spearmint leaf and was chewing on that. Looks a little squatchy down in that ravine there, but I'll keep heading up here. Looks like we have a couple leans right up there. Yeah, definitely. It's pointing in the area I thought that looked squatchy. Alright. Okay, so this is the squatchy spot. And it's kind of funny, there's a creek running right out of it. And it's running right down the trail until someone kind of dammed it off up here and it flows down this ravine. But made really good time, so I'm just going to kind of wander around up here. That's a little steep. I'll try right up here. Still fairly early in the day, considering it gets dark at about 9 here this time of year. But yeah, this area at dusk is kind of gives you the creeps, the willies, whatever you want to call it. Let me try to wipe the lens here 1 second. Okay, I don't know if that's any better. I think it is. It seemed like it was a little bit foggy. This is pretty steep. If I can find a flat area, that would be interesting. Here's a kind of a violent break. Seems like that water is kind of underground here because the creek bed itself looks dry on top, but it's flowing from this general direction down here. So I'm just going to follow it up a little ways. I sneezed not long ago, so I'm sure anything I already knew I was here anyway, but looks like there's kind of some potential activity of structures or things up here, so I'll go straight up here instead, following the creek bed. Kind of on this bluff. So it looks like this perhaps could have been a structure at one point. It's definitely a down structure, if it once was one. There's some other stuff here further on. Let me see the best way to go around. Let's go this way. So I've never been up the trail, off the trail in this area. I did hear my way hustling back down before it got dark. A wood knock a little further up, but I have not explored this area. Sorry, I'm so out of breath. So we got this thing here. It's very suspect to me. This, that. Yeah. To me, that's odd for deadfall. Here we have some, you can see strawberries down there. Quite a few of them. We still got time before the snows come again, so we'll probably make it to some type of berry maturity. Here's that thing from this side. Tell me if that looks like deadfall to you, skeptics. You know, one can always say it's deadfall, but I don't know. It's an X with this tree leaned into it, which is still living, and then this other little tree right here leaned onto and, you know, kind of bound down by this X, which is dead wood, which looks like it was brought in here. So, quite interesting to me. Classic signage. In my book, at least. Don't know about Dr. Meldrum or anybody else. I think some of you would agree with me. At least. Yeah, very primeval looking here. Horrible at being quiet. I'm usually a pretty quiet guy with my mouth, but I mean, stomping through the forest, I'm not the most adept. And this is kind of interesting. This lean up here, another lean down here. Excuse me. I noticed in Utah, well, I guess lots of places they'll put their initials, their names in trees and put a date on it, especially aspen trees. Here's a couple aspens. Looks like there's no human signage in here. I was going to say this weekend, today's Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, I'm going to do overnight camp, and I guess I'll be filming that too. Have some friends coming along to that, hopefully. See how it goes. Don't know if Rio will show or not. Let me clear my throat here, 1 second. As I was saying, I don't know if Rio will show. I know people always, at least on my channel, enjoy his presence in the video, which is understandable. We've got a lot of us originally going into this, even if he's, for the most part, moved on. Let's see, we have a clear X right here. Yeah, and they're both stripped of bark. They're both like going straight up here with additional leans. There's a little Y. One of these is a Y at the top. This one right here is a Y. I don't know if you can see that even. And we have the X. And yeah, quite the area here. I always like exploring new places, and here's another kind of X on the ground with another one headed off this way, and then more leans going up here. And this X makes it hard to kind of navigate, so I have to get my legs over about 2.5 feet up. So I'm just going to be quiet for a moment here. I guess I'll add this. This looks like it's the edge of the aspens over here. Meet the pine forest. For whatever reason, they do seem to have some preference to where the two are mixed together. I don't know if it's just because it's pretty common that the two forests meet. Another theory I have is that some of this deadfall, the one type of forest might be replacing the other one. And then maybe that provides a lot of extra ready deadfall. But then you have X's like this right up here, which I just don't, think it's that common naturally. I mean, I go and I realize my videos, you're always seeing X's, but I could go in forests all over Utah and you won't see one X unless you selectively go to the places like this. It's a huge X. It's about a good 10 feet up where it intersects. It'd be perfect easy for Sasquatch to do. I don't know if a human would manage as easily or wouldn't have any reason to create that. But yeah, I don't think I'm gonna hang around here for dark. Not alone, that's for sure. I hope that if they have a presence around here right now, or some time we're not too far, which I'd assume not too far, somewhere on the mountain, they're kind of okay with me being in here. Here's a tree with all the barks down here, and it's just hanging up there. Well, I think that was the squatchiest of it. Keeps going up here, mixed forest. You can probably hear a airliner up somewhere in the air in the background. But yeah, I guess I'll travel a little further up here, but I'll flip this on if I see something else worth pointing out. Just a quick look around. I'm just beyond the Squatchy area, so I'm balancing on a log, so there's a little bit better view because this stuff is kind of deep greenery, underbrush, but it's pretty thick. I could go that way where it looks like there's more pines and things again, but I think I'll just head back because I don't want to get too carried away alone. It's more efficient to follow the trail. I think maybe actually up this way from the trail is maybe where I kind of heard a wood knock, but a lot of tall greenery. It could be pretty close, and I would maybe be able to, in theory, hide in the soils, depending on how big they are, of course. But anyway, I'm just gonna head back on down, follow trail up, and see how we do on time. Just filming from the other direction, going back down through the Squatchy area. I thought might as well things look a little bit different once you're coming the opposite direction. So here's Deadfall. It does kind of look a little range where it's going across this way, that way. But maybe it's just natural. Jury's out on that. Just this stuff that's hung up like this, like I said, the X's and things. It just, if that's nature, that's a little bit baffling. Especially you see it repeated over and over, just all sorts of stuff in here that to me bespeaks of intelligent arrangement. Go a little further this way than where I came down, just to see what's over here. Yeah, semi-flat area kind of tucked in here. I guess they could hang out sometimes. Just kind of a fence. They sometimes seems like they make. And here you have these a couple high. Here's my leg for comparison, kind of. So it hits my upper thigh, this top one. And it kind of comes down here. Several logs. Some more leans and such. Between those two trees. Lots of birds today. Eventually this would come down into the trail. But there's kind of an overlook, and they got this kind of tree mess here with all the roots on, I mean not the roots, the dead branches. It's kind of a blind almost. You know, I guess it could be natural, but it hides you from the trail right down here conveniently. Trails are right down there. They're kind of a steeper drop off to it. All right. I guess I'll head back to the trail. Back on the trail, it does intersect more of what I would say squatchy looking area with a fair amount of deadfall. I just came across the first human on the trail. So on his way down, because it's a little later in the day, I guess. But sorry, the screen's so small it's hard to see what you're seeing. Sometimes this screen will follow the direction I'm following. That's the setting it's set to now, but earlier it wasn't set to that. It's a Tuesday afternoon, so obviously not the highest traffic time of the week, even for summer. And this I wouldn't say is the most highly trafficked trail on the planet to begin with, or in the county even, that's for sure. But people do take the hike pretty regularly in smaller numbers. Alright, that's enough blathering. Trail crossing the creek. Just going to comment, say that this looks like snow load. You have a bunch of smaller aspens kind of have this crushed look in mass. You can see they're all kind of snapped and point the same direction, and then you have these ones that are lying flat, if you can see them further out, right in through here. And the elevation we're at, it probably is snow load. You can compare that with the other place I was at, where things seem to be kind of moved around and arranged in kind of their odd fashion. Another kind of view that'll be easier to see once the sun gets below that horizon. Kind of have blocked behind the tree there. I guess I could come out here and get a better view, but there's so much glare. The view in the distance there is easier to see since the sun is kind of facing another direction, over that way. Okay. The first snow I've seen. It's June 21st, I think. Yeah, it must be. So I guess I'll try to hike to the pond up here. Seems like that's always as far as I get. Never get to the top of the peak, because I get too late to start and I don't have time. Unless if I wanted to camp out here or something. But the pond is most of the way up. So I made a pretty good time. When I get there, I'll pull out the phone, see what time it is, see what my time was. "7:16 in the evening. Here's the pond. It's definitely just a pond. But I made a pretty good time. I started like maybe 3:57, so that's 3 hours and maybe 20 minutes, something like that, up to this point. That's okay. I think I might go a little further. The trail goes up this way a little further. Probably have a couple more hours of light. So, yeah, most of the way down, if I were to leave now, maybe even all of the way down, because it's a quicker descent, I would have light. So I'll go a little bit further up here. Go a little further than I've been before. Not going to make it to the top, though. There's the pond, just about to go below the horizon there. Got up over the steep lip and go a little further before I turn around. Well, a big old tree, dead tree, blocking the way. Some snow over here, snow load Yeah, it's pretty high. There's a stick, which is a pretty tall stick. Let's stick comes to, almost my height. Anyway, so we'll go around. It looks like there's additional downed trees, logs over here that they sawed through them. Pretty big tree there. Maybe over 2 feet wide, but not. On this side's wider, even wider. Approaching 3. Not quite 3 though. All right. There's a big pile of snow. Has some trees stuck in it. That's the direction I came from. So here you can see mainly just, it looks like melted out human prints. There's me, I'll make a print. Yeah, and this, which it's not small, but yeah, I think it's just human. Everything's pretty melted out except for my own prints. But I think this will be the end of the line for me. Call it quits. And yeah, just gonna take a break, eat some food, and the good news is that it's mostly downhill, even though I'm tired. So back at the vehicle, 9:50 p.m. Started at about 4 o'clock. So that's what, 6 hours, or give or take. And I guess you can't see, but the only vehicle in the whole parking lot. It's not a large parking lot. Just thought I heard a little tap off the strip when I started talking. I don't know if that helps any, but there's the kind of bathroom. Here's the parking lot stalls. A bit of fence or something there. And then my vehicle. So yeah, only vehicle in the parking lot.